Okay, everyone, this is the resource for you where I'm going to walk you through a thesis formula workshop along with a little bit more intense synthesis and how to create a synthesis for our project. Okay. So, if you are worried that maybe your thesis statement isn't where it needs to be, we can start by going back to the formula. First, you need to think about, is your thesis arguable? Are you trying to argue a fact? Facts are things that are understood by the general public. It means that it's been proven, and generally most people know about it. So if you're trying to prove something that is generally already well known, then your thesis might not be arguable. If you can come up with a counter argument for your thesis, then chances are it is arguable. So if you have your thesis in front of you and you're trying to see, okay, is this thesis arguable? You can say, okay, how could I argue against this? And if you're able to come up with a couple of points, then chances are your thesis is good. It's arguable. If you're not, then you might need to rethink your thesis and your reasons. Okay, number 2, does your thesis have appropriate evidence? That means, is your thesis supporting or being built upon what other authors have already said? And are you including that evidence to support your voice and your opinion? And not just any evidence, but is it good evidence? Is it logical? Does it emotionally connect with your reader? And does it help build your credibility as an author? If your evidence doesn't do these 3 things in some way or another, then you might not have the best evidence in your thesis statement. It might be helpful to go back through your readings, examine your motivations, examine what it is exactly that you want to say, and then re-examine your evidence itself. So, when we're checking our thesis, we need to make sure that it's arguable. And then we need to make sure that we have appropriate evidence that is logical, that makes a relevant connection to your readers, and that builds your credibility as an author, showing that you have been well read in this area and that you have other people that support you. Number 3, is your thesis informed by your readings? And by this I mean, do these authors speak to this issue appropriately? Are your readings the readings that are most helpful for you to choose and for you to use in your paper? If you're having trouble finding resources or quotes or paraphrases or moments in the reading you chose to help support your thesis statement, then chances are maybe this isn't the best reading for your article or for your essay. It might be helpful to take a step back, go back and look at the readings that you can choose from, and find another one. Remember that we've read all of these before, so it might be helpful to look at any notes that you took on the readings, or go back and look at any of the annotations that you've done on the readings so that you don't have to read through it again. And you can quickly make a decision about which reading is going to be the best and the most helpful for your essay and for your point to come across to your reader. And lastly, when in doubt, go back to the formula. So remember, our formula was, what is it you're trying to say? What are the reasons, or what is the reason you're trying to argue this? And what are a few specifics about it? How, why, and for what purpose? All of those things can equal a very good nuanced thesis. So remember, your argument or claim is going to be your motivation and position on the issue you choose. To recount the issues for you, we talked about education, the sanctuary of school. We talked about the importance of home. We've talked about literacy. And we've talked about the American South, racial reconciliation, and racial division. Excuse me, I needed a drink of water. So, when you choose an issue, where do you stand on that issue? That's your argument, that's your claim. Then you add in your reason. That's your why. This is what you think, your position or your argument or claim. Your reason is your why. And then give a few specifics that are examples as to why what you think is true. That's going to equal your thesis. If you're looking at your thesis and you don't have these three parts, it's going to be really easy to go back, answer some of these questions, and plug those into the formula. When you come up with those answers, you should have a thesis that looks similar to this. It can be longer, certainly, if you have more reasons or you have more specifics you want to include. It's good to know that a thesis can be 1 to 3 sentences. There's really no big limit or minimum amount that you have to have as long as you're answering these questions. So here is an example. This is the same example used in your Canvas assignment for a thesis. So if I'm doing one and I believe that pesticides should be banned, that's going to be my argument or claim. Then I'm going to include my reason, because it endangers the lives of farm workers. And then I'm going to give a few specifics, a few examples. How does it endanger the lives of farm workers? Well, it pollutes the air and it can get into your skin if you're working long days with it. I put all of this together and my thesis comes out to look something like this. Pesticides should be banned because they endanger the lives of farm workers by polluting the air farmers breathe on a daily basis and posing a tangible threat to their overall health. Now, this is arguable because I can clearly think of a counter argument someone could have to this. Pesticides are what keep bugs off the plants. It's what keeps our crops consistent and coming in and not held to the whims of nature. So it is arguable. Let me see. I have some evidence, right? Here's my how it does what I say it does. And it's going to be informed by my readings. If I was reading something about pesticides or the dangers of pesticides or the statistics of how farm workers are more likely to have health problems, those would be readings that would really inform this thesis. So when you get to this point, make sure that you've got all parts of this formula and then see, okay, is it arguable? Do I have logical evidence? Is it connecting with my readers? Is it building my credibility as an author? And then do my readings inform this thesis? Okay, so we're going to move on to synthesis. If you have any more questions about your thesis, you're more than welcome to send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to work with you on getting your thesis to where you're comfortable with it. All right, so moving to synthesis, a how-to. So if you remember from our class on Thursday, synthesis is simply combining 2 or more things to make something completely new. So if you can imagine me holding my hands up, I have them in front of my face. Remember that with your 2 authors, it's very similar to them both opening those French doors at the same time to reveal the main event, which is you, your opinion. So these 2 works that you're going to combine and discuss about their similarities, their differences, and how they relate, those are opening the doors for a completely new opinion on the project or on the issue, and that's your opinion. So when you're writing, it's when you take several of the authors you read within the current conversation, your current issue, your current topic. You're going to discuss their points in a summary, discuss how they're related, similar, or different, and then you're going to enter into the conversation with your own thoughts and opinions. So here's our synthesis formula. First things first is we want to answer these questions before we try to write it. So number 1, write down, what is your issue or your topic? Remember, we've talked about those before. Our issues that you can choose from for this class are literacies, their education, their home, the concept of home, and then the American South, racial reconciliation and racial division. Which one is your issue and your topic? Why do you want to write about this one? What do you want to say about this issue? Those are the 3 questions that you need to answer for number 1. Number 2, who is the first author that you've read? Which is the first author that you chose to support your opinion on the issue? Which is the author that you've chosen to support your position on this issue? What do they have to say about it? Number 3, which one is the second author that you chose? And what do they have to say about the issue? Okay, number 4, do they agree? Do they disagree? How are they relatable? And number 5, here's where you get to insert what you think and how these 2 pieces support your opinion. So once you have the answers to these 5 questions, you're ready to put it into a paragraph form. So we're going to do one together. Step 1, we're going to answer the questions just like we talked about in the last slide. So let's say that our topic and issue is water. Our first author says that drinking 64 ounces of water a day is the standard goal for every human. Now, our second author says that age and stage of life really should dictate how much water a person should drink, but there is a base starting point of 34 ounces a day. So both of the authors agree that drinking water is important, but both give numbers that are disagreeing with one another. And the main point of this is that both talk about the benefits water gives to a person. They agree on the fact that water is the best thing that you can drink. They just disagree on how much water you should take. All right, so I have my issue right here. And then I have my issue right here, sorry. Then I have my first author. So I've answered this question. I've answered this question. Step 2, what our first author says. Step 3, I've answered what our second author says. Step 4, I point out the similarities and the differences and how they're relatable. And then step 5, what do I think? Well, I think that people should drink the amount of water that feels best to them in their age and their current state of life. For example, the amount of water you need to drink if you're pregnant is going to be different than the amount of water you drink if you're not pregnant. So I can use the second author to support this and the first author to emphasize the importance of water. So I've answered my questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have my issue. I have my first author. I have my second author. I have pointing out their similarities, their differences, and how the articles relate to each other. And then I have my opinion. So I'm going to put it into paragraph form now. Here is what I came up with for paragraph. The first sentence says, water is an incredibly important source for all living and non-living things, making up 80% of the entire earth and atmosphere. However, most importantly, it is what human beings thrive on, their source for nourishment and refreshment. So, in the first 2 sentences right here, I have successfully told my reader what my issue is and where I stand on it, without saying, my issue is water and I am for drinking water. Okay, so I didn't do it like that, but I used language to communicate where I stand on it and the topic. I talk about the importance of water, I talk about how much it makes up the earth, and I talk about how it's definitely needed for human beings to thrive. That's something you can do in your synthesis. If you need some help in talking about, in coming up with language to communicate your opinion, just look back at this. Maybe come up with some background information. That's really helpful when you're introducing an issue to your reader. So secondly, I have over here John Doe, in his piece, The Importance of Water,